The autonomic nervous system is divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. But how nerve impulses are transmitted and which receptors are responsible for each system. In parasympathetic nervous system, cholinergic nerves releases acetylcholine neurotransmitters. While in sympathetic nervous system there is adrenergics, but in this video we will focus mainly on adrenergic neurons. Nerves which releases norepinephrine are known as adrenergics. Adrenergic neurons release norepinephrine as the primary neurotransmitter. These neurons are found in the central nervous system and in the sympathetic nervous system, where they serve as links between ganglia and the effector organs. In the sympathetic nervous system, norepinephrine is the neurotransmitter released at almost all postganglionic nerves. The exception is sweat glands, in which acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter. Adrenergic neurons within the central nervous system appear to be responsible for arousal, wakefulness, and elevation mood. But how are norepinephrine transmitted at the adrenergic neurons? Neurotransmission at adrenergic neurons. Neurotransmission in adrenergic neurons closely resembles that described for the cholinergic neurons, except that norepinephrine is the neurotransmitter instead of acetylcholine. Neurotransmission involves the following steps: synthesis, storage, release, and receptor binding of norepinephrine, followed by removal of the neurotransmitter from the synaptic cleft. In synthesis, tyrosine is transported by a carrier into the adrenergic neuron, where it is hydroxylated to dihydroxyphenylalanine, or in short known as DOPA, by tyrosine hydroxylase. This is the rate-limiting step in the formation of norepinephrine. DOPA is then decarboxylated by the enzyme aromatic L-amino acid decarboxylase to form dopamine in the presynaptic neuron. Storage of norepinephrine in vesicles. Dopamine is then transported into synaptic vesicles by an amine transporter system. Then the next step is, dopamine is hydroxylated to form norepinephrine by the enzyme dopamine beta hydroxylase. Release of norepinephrine. An action potential arriving at the nerve junction triggers an influx of calcium ions from the extracellular fluid into the cytoplasm of the neuron. The increase in calcium causes synaptic vesicles to fuse with the cell membrane and to undergo exocytosis and expel their contents into the synapse. Binding to receptors. Norepinephrine released from the synaptic vesicles diffuses into the synaptic space and binds to postsynaptic receptors on the effector organ or to presynaptic receptors on the nerve ending. Binding of norepinephrine to postsynaptic receptors activate characteristic set of physiological responses. In presynaptic receptors are sites at which norepinephrine transmitters inhibit the release of more norepinephrine from its axon terminals. Catechol-O-methyltransferase is an enzyme responsible for inactivation of norepinephrine. Removal of norepinephrine. Norepinephrine may either diffuse out of the synaptic space and enter the systemic circulation, or be metabolized to inactive metabolites by catechol-O-methyltransferase in the synaptic space, or undergo reuptake back into the neuron. The reuptake by the neuronal membrane involves a sodium chloride-dependent norepinephrine transporter. Potential fates of recaptured norepinephrine. Once norepinephrine re-enters the adrenergic neuron, it may be taken up into synaptic vesicles via the amine transporter system and be sequestered for release by another action potential, or it may persist in a protected pool in the cytoplasm. Alternatively, norepinephrine can be oxidized by monoamine oxidase present in neuronal mitochondria. Monoamine oxidase is an enzyme that metabolizes norepinephrine once it re-enters the presynaptic neuron. Reuptake of norepinephrine into the presynaptic neuron is the primary mechanism for termination of its effects. Adrenergic receptors are a class of G-protein coupled receptors that are activated by norepinephrine and epinephrine produced by the body. In the sympathetic nervous system, several classes of adrenoceptors can be distinguished pharmacologically. Two main families of receptors, designated, are alpha and beta. They are classified based on response to the epinephrine and norepinephrine. Both the alpha and beta receptor types have a number of specific receptor subtypes. These receptors are further divided into the subtypes alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2, and beta 3. Activation of each receptor subtype results in a characteristic set of physiological responses. A simple tip to remember about alpha and beta receptors is, alpha receptors constricts blood vessels while beta blockers dilates blood vessels. Alpha 1 primary locations is at all sympathetic target organs except the heart, and responses are it produces is the constriction of blood vessels and dilation of pupil. Alpha 2 primary location is at the presynaptic adrenergic nerve terminals, and the response activated is inhibition of release of norepinephrine. As for beta receptors, you can use this simple mnemonic to remember the locations of beta receptors. We have one heart, and that is where beta 1 is located. So beta 1 is one heart, and also we have two lungs, that is where beta 2 is located. Beta 2 is for two lungs. Beta 1 primary location is at heart and kidneys, and the response generated is increased heart rate and force of contraction and result in release of renin. Beta 2 primary location is all sympathetic target organs except the heart, and the response activated is inhibition of smooth muscle. Now beta 3 primary location is at the adipose tissue, and the response is lipolysis. Now let's test our knowledge through this a little bit tricky question. The question says, during fight or flight situations the adrenal gland releases significant amounts of epinephrine into the bloodstream. Epinephrine in turn stimulates a variety of adrenergic receptors. Which vascular receptor subtype is not normally innervated, but when stimulated by epinephrine results in vasodilation, increased regional blood flow to skeletal muscle? Option A is alpha 1. Option B is alpha 2. Option C is beta 1, and the last option, option D, is beta 2. Pause the video and think about it. The answer is D. We really need to remember this simple mnemonic. As we saw before, alpha receptors constricts blood vessels while beta receptors' response is to dilate the blood vessels. Beta 1 receptors are only found in heart and kidney, while beta 2 are found in all sympathetic target organs except the heart. And that's all for this video, guys. Please feel free to let me know in the comment if you have any question. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button to support our channel. Thank you.